This is an open letter for Mr. Elon Musk and the Sane Society. Here's the thing, sir. I heard, I read, I heard in an interview you made a suggestion that maybe my son is dead. That kid, Xavier Xavier, or however you pronounce it. And that became clear that what's going on is that if your son, let's put it this way, your son failed to function in a way you had in mind that he should function, because he failed to function in a way that you wanted him to function as a male, reproductive male in the society. He failed to do that through this transgender issue, blah blah blah, which I'm not in favor of transgenderism, because that's a whole different business. Because as I've covered it before, make pretend. It's make pretend. Transgender is a make pretend business of people pretending. We all used to pretend as children, doctors, and let's play doctors and let's play engineers, and I'm a truck driver. People at age 5 do a lot of pretending, but then people mature and realize that I can't pretend to be a doctor no more than I can pretend to be a woman. This idea that let's pretend is transgenderism. Is a male, let's pretend that he's a female. Now let's give him the tools of a female, but that those tools are not going to be functional. Yes, maybe someday in the future, if everything works out well for your race, uh, you know, for your humans on planet in general, not your particular race. Please don't kill the rest of us. Anyway, if he failed to function as a tool that you had in mind that he should function, we don't have the technology of giving the full toolkit of the different gender, change the toolkit of different genders. One day you may have that technology, but now that you don't, it still make pretend. With the help of some doctors and surgeons, these people get to pretend that they are the other sex. And I don't agree with it, because you can't pretend. Just like you can't pretend you're a doctor and engineer, it has liabilities. This sexual pretense also, I can assure you, is going to come with a lot of liabilities. People getting married and one side suddenly figuring out that the other side, has sold, used to have the wrong tools, so it's not reproductive. They find out, after marriage. So, and then, there is going all kinds of liability suits are going to arise out of that, because in any field you lower the bar of passing, saying that okay, let's pretend you're a doctor, and let's pretend you're an engineer, and let's pretend you're a woman, although you used to be a man. The whole thing, the whole ship goes out. The train falls over. Here's hoping the train doesn't fall over. So no, I'm not for transgender business, because life, it's a short, sad life when pretense is accepted of in any situation. This is pretense. Pretense. I'm not sure which pronunciation is the correct one. Anyway, my point is this. But back to you. That's all. Yeah, that was the wrong decision. Should have, been prevented at least age 25. But after that, if you're still not productive after 25, then you should be left alone to do whatever you want with yourself. But the point is this, that because this sun didn't function in a way that you expect it to function, you're basically, you'd say it's not worth anything. It's dead to me. This is what I'm saying, Mr. Musk. You look at even your children as tools to reach an objective. As tools to reach an objective. This is our destination. We set an objective that we may come up with the tools to reach that objective. Does it, if you look at your children as tools, I'm sure you look at your employees also as tools. I'm sure you have a great time with them, but this is the thing. This is the thing that, when you look at everything as a tool, everything and everyone as a tool, even my wife as a tool to have children, and my children as a tool to keep at least a small percentage of my specific conformation of DNA, my configuration of DNA, my specific small part of my configuration of DNA has to remain on the planet. Is, we understand that you have had over 100 people 500 years ago who ended up with their genetic information being part of your genetic information. Just like you reproduce and you create a lot, and many have come together to create you. So not that small piece of DNA that yours will be lost. What I'm trying to say is, right now, I may have a small piece of my DNA that is responsible for my, one muscle memory of building that one muscle in a part of my large intestine. That piece of DNA, that piece of information to build that specific part of my large intestine is there from Genghis Khan. 23andMe. So yeah, I do have a souvenir from Genghis Khan. It's got, that small piece of information that does that one thing in my body. Was the life of Genghis Khan worth it? Was the life of people that Genghis Khan cut through worth it? Is the fight between Russia and Ukraine worth it over some real estate that some dukes and barons and kings and queens claim? The Ukrainian peasants are dying, so the king of England or the queen of England, or whoever the fuck is in charge over there, should have a say in that piece of real estate. That's the fight between the Russian Empire and the British Empire. Apparently the Europeans are still okay with the British Empire. They don't mind to be guided by the British. A million people have died. This is the thing, what I'm saying, that you tell me reproduction is important to keep the light of consciousness. The light of consciousness, what consciousness? Let the gorillas keep the light of consciousness. Let the the giraffes keep the lights of consciousness. This is consciousness. A million people have died over some piece of real estate that two great old empires claim. The empires of the Anglo-Saxon and the empire of the Ruskies. Anglo-Saxon in North America is basically run by Anglo-Saxons. Yeah, they got some figureheads who out of the other, higher, darker complexion, but it's still, Anglo-Saxon owned, Anglo-Saxon run. Hello. So the point is this: you want to keep the light of consciousness. 1 million people have died over real estate. The real estate that you only can keep until you die or you lose it sooner. What are you trying to keep alive? And this idea is you want to have something valuable. It's understood that if something is very valuable, you want more of it. Is life on your planet held valuable? Your history says not. Life is not valuable on your planet. So many, the animals are trophy hunted to death, and the humans are trophy hunted just for the hell of it, just for the rush of it, just because we can. We go kick some ass over here and we go kick some ass over there. UFC, people bashing each other's brains out. You want to preserve this? I'm sorry, I'm gonna go back to Klingons. I'm not sure even if I'm pronouncing that right. Their consciousness, whether it's there or not, if it's there, is more hazardous to the people, to the entities around it. A light of consciousness which cannot get along with itself on the same planet. How is this light of consciousness why it should be important for the rest of the galaxy? If this motherfucker, human beings on Earth, can't get along with each other and use all their added productivity in trying to subdue each other instead of providing good education for their children, Uncle Sam's managers, if they are at that level that warfare is always better than education, warfare is always more important than education, hell, warfare is more important than housing, and warfare is more important than health. Again, back to the tools. These people are tools to an end. You want more because you want more tools. Because it's clear that you look at everything and everybody around you as tools to an end. A lot of it, I agree with you, every one of your projects, great. All on board. But you want to take it easy? You want to, get a dog. Get a dog. You see, I'm not sure if you have had any pets or dogs, Mr. Elon Musk. It's like having a stupid child. It measures your patience. It measures your patience. Having a dog is like, especially having a dog from a puppy. Get a puppy, Mr. Elon Musk. Get a puppy and force yourself to actually have to be a mom to that pup. You always have. I've noticed you, like many great men, you have always, given the responsibility of parenthood, especially at the beginning, the first children that you have had, we gave it mostly to their mother, and you concentrated on the project you were doing. Good for you. No qualms about that. But I have a feeling that you look at everybody as tools to an end, although honorable ends. You never really got the idea that no, 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 this is a retarded child. This dog that I have is like a retarded child, and I have to be, you know, it's not a tool to an end. It can never be a tool to an end for me. This retarded child can never be a tool to an end for me. Nothing good is ever going to come out of this retarded child. If you can put up with that and still care for the dog, then I can say that yeah, he's got it. He understands that not everybody is a tool, means to an end. Not everybody should be treated as tools. Nobody should be treated as tools. Everybody should be treated as a, co-ingredient in the shit show that you're running on Earth. Co-ingredient. But, again, nobody is for transgenderism. Sane people are not for transgender business. You know, you if you're a man and you feel like a woman, then you're probably gay. But nobody should pretend that you're anything but a man if you only have the tools of a man. Organs of a man. That should be the definition of what is a man and what is a woman. Can you function as a woman? Has your medicine achieved the point that you can function as a woman? If you have achieved that point that you can function as a woman perfectly with reproductive, actually being able to reproduce, then we say yes, we accept your pretense, and at that point we no longer have to pretend, because you can function biologically as a woman. But at this point, none of these folks can function biologically at the sex that they choose. So everybody else has to pretend. You don't have a penis, but we have to pretend you have a penis, because although there is no penis, or there is not a working penis, but then but you have a beard. So my point is this: your chemical manufacturing has reached that point, but not your surgical skills. My point is this: that since this hasn't happened, there, whatever happens right now in terms of transgender business is all pretend. But for you to look at the idea as oh, I'm sorry that happened. I don't agree with it, and don't go along with it, and have a talk with your boy and say, hey, you're gay. That I understand. But transgender, let's just make pretend. If you have that conversation, then one can say that, oh, you got the lesson of the puppy. Puppy is always confused. A puppy dog is always confused. Ring any bell, confused about sexual orientation, he's confused. The puppy is always confused. He's got a tenth of a brain of a human being. So that's why he's always confused. People, everyday people, or many are confused about many things. So it's not. Who's a genius? If you guys at the top are the genius apparently. But there's some confusion about your sexuality and gender and orientation and all of that has to be talked through. If you don't look at your son as, I had plans for you, you didn't come true, you weren't the right tool, you got a broken tool, now you can't execute the plans that I've had for you. I'm sorry, isn't this his life? You had plans for his life, and because your plans didn't pan out, somehow he's dead. He's not he cannot be productive. You had plans, he had plans. Some bad ideas got some root, and but still, get a puppy. Understand that doesn't have what happens to the tool You don't throw it out because it's not a fucking tool. It's a responsibility. Then we go back to the empire, the latest empires that my pink skin friends have put together, the Anglo-Saxon, North American, European, NATO. They're looking at their people as tools. 500,000 Ukrainians died. Who cares? They were a good tool. You see, this is the problem. You know, looking at people as tools, that if that tool is profitable for you, then you promote it, you like it, you think it's a working tool. But if it doesn't work, then it's a bad tool. The difference between Saudi Arabia and, let's say Iraq of the time of Saddam Hussein. Iraq at the time of Saddam Hussein was not a good tool until, they invaded Iran, and that was a good tool time. And Dick Cheney and all of them went and actually met him. There's videos of it. And good tool, but then, the Syrians are not good tool. The Lebanese are not good tool. Good tool, no good tool. If good tool, we keep you. If no good tool, we throw you in the trash. That's the same idea. My son, if it performs in this way, good tool, I promote you. If it doesn't work in this way, no good, I disown you. Shit. You want to spread this light of consciousness. You want more of this. Human beings using each other as tools for their own purposes. Salute. So, I'm sorry. You should really get a puppy and raise a puppy. And however, first of all, it will calm you down in life, because a lot of time that you could be out there running and jumping and creating, you have, with the puppy. And puppy is not very entertaining. It's needs a lot of looking after. And at the end, you already know that this at the end is going to be a dog. It's not going to be Einstein. It's going to be a dog, a little more stupid than it is today, or just a little more intelligent than it is today, from a puppy to a full-grown dog. And that, if you can put up with that, if you can understand that, if you can appreciate that, because it was created, it has to be taken care of. Because it was created, it has to be taken care of. Then you may not be so enthusiastic about this idea of let's procreate more. Procreate for whom? For what? For the fatherland? At the end of the day, they give you a 6 foot by 2 foot hole in the ground. Somebody has procreated this motherfucker, and somebody just put him in the ground because he was at the wrong person at the wrong place at the wrong time. This has to be, procreation has to happen more and more. We need big populations so we can put them to battle each other, because they're tools to our end of overthrowing regimes and using everybody as a tool so we can build this. Everybody have to pay us so we can build this. We are the representative of everybody. Everybody has to pay. And anybody who can't afford to pay, well, we're gonna send somebody to break your knees. Everybody's a tool. Everybody has to pay. Everybody has to produce. I'm sorry. Again, please, Mr. Musk, if you can get a puppy and raise the puppy to a dog, to let's say 3 years old, by yourself, with no aides helping to raise the puppy. No, no, no. You raise the puppy. Then you understand, may appreciate, with all due respect, you may appreciate that you have to appreciate everyone around you, even the Ukrainians and even the Russians, and even the Arabs and even the Ashkenazi. If you appreciate both sides, just like you appreciate the giraffes and the gorillas and the elephants, and you say, no, 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 let's not extinguish their lineage. The natives of the land have the right to exist on that land. You still haven't got this point right on your planet. You still haven't got this right. That if you're born on that land, you should exist on that land, and we're not going to fuck with you because you were born there, and we're not going to embargo you and sanction you and take you in the behind the dump and try to rape you. This is madness. They don't accept that. This idea is not accepted by the Anglo-Saxons, that the natives have the right to exist. That's how they're supporting. They used to support the African government in South Africa. That's why they used to still are supporting Israel, because Anglo-Saxons don't believe the right of the natives. Period. Anglo-Saxons still have to come to grips with the idea of natives have a right to their land first, before Europeans. It's the right of being first. The Anglo-Saxon, it's the right of being native. You know how you can tell the native? Depending on how much sun the place gets, those who are darker are native to darker places, and those who are lighter are native to lighter places. When you send light-skinned soldiers to dark-skinned places to show them the way, show them the way in case of civility and Christianity and lately form of economy and form of governance, you keep going to these places under the disguise of we are going there to show them the right way. You want these people, you want more of these people who you keep using as tools for a small group of people in Northern Hemisphere to have an upper hand against everybody else, other races. It's madness. Either first show me the intelligent life of consciousness, then tell me we want to spread this into Mars and the moon and wherever the fuck you can get to. Show me it's worth saving. Show me it's worth spreading. Show me it's worth reproducing more. Right now, their governments are using their people as tools to go enforce their will on the neighborhood in Europe and the neighborhood in Asia. You see how much funds have been going to Israel from North America and Western Europe recently. all these funds, all this productivity is being pushed to achieve a goal, no, a mean to a goal, a tool for a job, the job of screwing all the Arabs in the neighborhood, having them on their back, taking it up the ass from Ashkenazi on behalf of Anglo-Saxons. So you're telling me that this is important because you understand, the way you think is it's a tool for a job. They are a tool for a job. This is a tool for a job. My son is a tool for a job. This is a tool for a job. And your problem with the transgender business is that they're not a tool for a job. I agree with you. But not because based on the pretense part. As soon as your surgical technology reaches a place that actually sex change would be productive sex change, I guess you're on board. I would be on board too, because you have, there is no longer a pretense happening. But as long as it's pretense, it's a bad idea. But I say it's a bad idea because, it's a childish pretend game. But you say it's a bad idea because it's a tool that no longer performed the function that I wanted to perform. I want it to perform. I'm sorry. Please get a puppy, sir. Raise a puppy. It's just, you do it because it's there, because it's your responsibility. You educate your children. It's because it's your responsibility. This is your political system is basically have done away with totally with responsibility. So education, no, it's not our responsibility. Healthcare, no, it's not our responsibility. Welfare, no, it's not our responsibility. Then what the fuck is your responsibility? A war in Asia. We have to keep funding a war in Asia and a war in Europe. Where you're sitting, Toronto. I'm sorry, you're sitting in Toronto, so you think that you should be funding a war in Europe and in Asia, but not, you don't think your children's education is as important and funding a war on the other side of the planet? To the same society. So this is the people that you want more reproduced? Reproduced for what? To a tool. A tool for what? Populate Mars. So over there is also education is not going to be important. Now two groups of uneducated people are occupying two planets. The same shit show is going now. It's going to happen now. Two planets are at war, Earth and Mars. You should not spread here's how you know an invasive species and a native species. An invasive species spreads, and the spread is noticeable because it decimates everything in sight. That's an invasive species. Anglo-Saxons are an invasive species. They decimate everything. North America was decimated. Let's clean them out. They were trying to do the same thing in Africa. I mean, you don't kill 10 million people in one going in Uganda or whatever it was, you, you, you're not looking at you're looking at them as tools. So I killed 10 million to be able to enslave 50 million. And you kill so many of them, and the news will reach so far that these guys have the kind of guns and the kind of craziness that I've killed 10 million people. Therefore, I can, you know, enslave 50 million just by sheer of fear, by sheer fear. You folks have been, you know, looking at everyone and everything as tools. The Germans, Anglo-Saxons, Saxon part, again, great tool makers, really believe in tools, machines and tools. But, you know, this is the result. When you look at everything as a tool, and suddenly your object, and the other side, some people over there also look at everybody as a tool. But mostly, you know, Anglo-Saxons have been, you know, that's why they want to break all these big countries, because when you have smaller pieces of land, countries, nations, you have a better selection of tools. You have, if this one doesn't agree, you pick up the other two, see if you can get an agreement out of that one. Lately, Uncle Sam's managers have been pulling countries, little islands with 50,000 people in the middle of Pacific Ocean. Nauru has been a great, you know, ally of Uncle Sam's managers. Whenever, I guess, you know, they ruled against the, somebody wanted to rule against Israel, and suddenly Nauru was in Uncle Sam's corner. This is the whole thing, that you guys look at everyone and everything as a tool, even nations, as a tool for you to achieve something. And you always say what you want to achieve is good. Spreading Christianity, spreading civility, spreading capitalism, spreading democracy. I mean, somehow, I'm sure in a decade or so, Anglo-Saxons will come up with a new idea of spreading a different thing. You know, they went from religion and civility and economy and governance, and I'm sure they will find something else to base their incursion, intrusion in other races in this planet, in other area geographies in this planet. But again, you're looking at everybody as a tool. There is somewhere to we have to get. There is an objective we have to reach, and everything and everyone is a tool in this business. The FBI is a tool, and the CIA is a tool, and the police is a tool, and the military is a tool, and, you know, the genius inventors are also tools, and the managers are also tools. Everybody's a tool. Well, Mr. Tool, they're using your tool, and up to now, at least 1 million people in between Ukraine and Russia have died. The way they talk about it, the way the numbers are coming. Again, your satellites have become a tool for other people, who are being used as tools by other people who are being pushed as tools of BlackRock, very wealthy people who have some interest somewhere, and, you know, just like pretend, you know, big guy turns the tool a little, and the little guy turns the tool a little, and the smaller and smaller and smaller, and, you know, the last tool is being spun by a blue collar worker in Alabama tightening a screw on a missile. And then the last tool next tool after that is the pilot who drops, you know, pushes that button that drops that missile. That's a tool that goes to subdue the natives. The bomb is a tool that goes to subdue the natives of Asia by some very light-skinned folks from Europe with very European names like Weinstein and Goldstein, and these are real European names. Suddenly they're Asia, and they modify it to sound Asian, like Ben Hur. The guy Ben Gurion, his name was B something, from Eastern Europe, Russia. But the point is this: that again, everybody is a tool in the process in which, at the end of the day, a bunch of very fair-skinned, rich folks want to claim a piece of land. Politicians are not making decisions to go to war. Are you kidding me? Zelensky would prefer to be in southern France right now. But, he's getting paid handsomely to be a tool in this process of this tool business, that you guys think of each other as tools. And, so, I understand the Rothschild family, for example, is one of the bigger tools in the toolbox. And it's not just them. There are many tools. The Soros that they talk about, and the Murdoch that they talk about, and this, that, Waltons and the Gates, and these families. The more wealth you have in your capitalist system, the bigger tool you are. You become the fountainhead, Mrs. Ayn Rand. You become the fountainhead if you're one of the bigger tools. But is the direction you're going, is it getting closer to the Vulcans, or to the who are the crazy ones in Star Trek? These people that you're producing, are you going in a direction of becoming more Vulcan, more logical, more centered, more informed conscience entity, or a gorilla like the other gorillas? If it's a gorilla like the other gorillas, why do you want to spread these gorillas across planetary space, across planets and solar systems? They're gorillas, Klingons. If you got Vulcans, everybody wants you. If you got Klingons, nobody wants you. It seems to me that you're spreading Klingons with your rocket business. You're trying to spread Klingons. They were occupying one planet. Now you're trying to spread them into two planets. And you disown your son because he wasn't. You thought this is the proper tool to do that business of reproduction and continuation, and he didn't pan out as such. Therefore, it's a bad tool. I don't want it anymore. It's dead to me. Are you fucking kidding me? Get a puppy. Salute. All Anglo-Saxons should be raising puppies. All, all Anglo-Saxons should be raising puppies, many puppies, all their life. Especially Anglo-Saxons, Mongols too. Mongols, Genghis Khan people, they should be raising puppy all their life too. certain groups of people should be, you guys should be, should work more on your empathy and sympathy by participating in activities that increases emotional intelligence. So you don't look at everything and everybody as a tool to a mean.